Hello and welcome back to the Nutrition Daddy broadcast. I am your host, Dr. Mitch Kahn. Pleasure to be back with you. So, as promised, let's move on to our next subject that I had talked about in previous videos and audios. It's the most common problem I see with men in our practice. And what are we talking about today? We're talking about the prostate. Now, let's talk a little bit about where the prostate is, the anatomy of the prostate. Okay? Now, this walnut is about the size and shape of a normal prostate. Now, sitting right above the prostate is the bladder. So, you often hear a lot of times that men have different issues with bladder problems because their prostate is swollen. We're going to get into that in a minute. So, below the prostate is the genitals. Above it is the bladder, and behind it you have the rectum, which is why men get a rectal exam, unfortunately for us, to try to see if the doctor can feel if it's actually swollen or if it's bumpy or there's some issue with the prostate. Now, let's talk a little bit about different symptoms that men experience with prostate problems. Now, what's interesting about this is most of the symptoms that people think about with the prostate are things like a man has to urinate a lot, especially at night. Frequency to the bathroom, like he feels like he has to goes to the bathroom and like not much comes out. Now, the reason for that is because if the prostate's swollen, it's pushing up against the bladder. So the man has this feeling like he has a full bladder, even if it's not full at all, and even if it's almost empty. You still get that sensation. Now, the other thing that men also complain about, and it's pretty well known, is what's called dribbling. And we're not talking basketball here, we're talking about urine comes out, a little bit, it kind of drips. It drips out. So we call that dribbling. And for men, that's not a fun thing to have, So generally, those are the two symptoms that are most commonly known. And according to research I read recently, they state that about almost after the age of 45, about 100% of men experience some kind of prostate problem. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't agree with that at all. I think that's a gross exaggeration. We certainly have many men that come in that have prostate issues, but I don't think it's that common, as common as it's made out to be. They claim that, between the age of 45 and 50, almost every man will have a prostate issue in this country. Like I said, I don't necessarily think that's true. So, let's talk about some other symptoms which you probably do not know about, and you probably had no clue about. And in fact, until I got more into this field, I was surprised myself. The most common symptoms of prostate issues for men, believe it or not, is low back pain. Huge issue with prostate. Many low back pain patients, they can go to the chiropractor, physical therapy, stretch, do all kinds of stuff. Pain doesn't go away until, if they're lucky enough, somebody actually addresses their prostate issue. That's very common. Neck pain as well can be caused, believe it or not, by prostate issues. Now, we're not just talking about back issues. Very common prostate issues in men is joint pain. Could be shoulder, elbow, hip. Basically, any type of joint pain can be caused by prostate issues. Very common, especially in a chiropractic office or physical therapy, as I mentioned a minute ago. Real common. So, although most people jump right away to the joint or the area of the back where the pain might be, very frequently it's a prostate issue. It needs to be addressed that way. So, what are some of the things we can do about this? Well, there are some herbal products that sometimes they work okay, sometimes they don't, like saw palmetto. The other thing that I would recommend, which is good for any male or female, is, and this is more of a naturopathic approach, is eating seeds. You heard me right, seeds, especially raw seeds. because raw seeds, just by their very existence, tend to feed, let's just say, the seeds of the human, which in a woman would be like their ovaries, right, and egg production, and a man would be their sperm, and in relation to that would be the prostate. And by the way, the prostate does not make the sperm. It makes a fluid that mixes with the sperm that basically keeps it alive. It's that fluid that feeds the sperm. So anyway, eating seeds, in their raw form, like sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, different types of seeds, even seeds in watermelon and stuff like that, very, very healthy. And not just for men, for women as well, especially if there's any kind of reproductive type issue, pregnancy issue, which, by the way, I'm going to get into in another video. We've had huge success helping people get pregnant in our practice. Huge success, and I'm going to talk about that shortly in another video. So those are some of the things you can do on your own, and honestly, they're helpful, but the best approach for prostate issue is seeking a medical professional like myself, or someone, again, who does similar work to me, that can address this issue. Because what we found in our practice, very similar to the thyroid issue in women, we found that it's a heavy metal problem. I know it's surprising, but some reason those heavy metals, like mercury in your mouth, different stuff in the environment, in the water, just exhaust gases from cars and so forth, if you live near a road or a highway, they tend to accumulate in the prostate area, as well as the thyroid, as I mentioned in another video. So what you want to do is take a look and see, obviously you're not going to cut the prostate open. We have ways of checking it that are safe and harmless in our office that we do. So then, you check that, try to help the body get rid of these metals. The other issue with the prostate, which we find in our office, is bacterial issues. Now, bacteria likes to go after areas of the body that are weak or weakened. So very often there's a combination of heavy metals and bacteria or other immune type challenges in the person, with a prostate issue. So we just go for that, help them get it cleaned up. Miraculously, very often their pain starts to go away, disappears, and they start feeling better. Now, the one symptom that I did fail to mention so far, which is huge for men, which you could just look at them and pretty much tell they have a prostate issue. So if you're home and you're the female in the house and your husband has this look, you can be pretty assured there's a prostate issue. And what is that type of symptom we're talking about? They're very stiff. They walk stiff. They walk slow. They move slowly. Their whole body is stiff. They're bent a little bit forward often. You could tell across the room if somebody has a prostate issue like that, and of course, it's not the only thing that would cause stiffness, but very, very common, very, very common in men. So if you see that stiffness in your husband, or if you're a man watching this and you have a lot of stiffness in your body, especially if you're at least 45 or over, very, very good chance is a prostate issue. Now, as always, you can always email me at drmitchk@gmail.com or call my office at 845-507-0901 if you have any questions or you're interested in coming in for an evaluation. Love to see you, love to help you. That's what I do. That's what I was born to do. I look forward to seeing you on our next video. I'm not sure what that's going to be yet, but I'm sure it'll be good. All right, have a great day.
I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas.